Hey guys, HappyCattyCrypto here and welcome back to the channel. So it is that time of the month for the Lunar Classic community. It's the all important day, the first day of the month as to which Binance burns. And this is a really good sign for us that they're continuing to burn despite all of the ongoing events for them that are coming to a close, so to speak. And I spoke about this in my video yesterday, kind of going over the situation with CZ, the man himself, getting a jail sentence and this kind of triggering a massive crypto crash. We've also got that Q1 financial report. And then there's something else that has actually hit the market. I don't have an article ready, but it's pretty much the Bitcoin Jesus guy has been apprehended and he's due to be extradited back to the US. And I think he's evaded something close to $50 million in capital gains tax. This in itself is just negative for the market, right? It's not, we understand it quite well. A 50, 100, 150% dump, whatever. This is crypto. We get it. We understand. But those who don't understand are the ones that kind of panic sell, and then you get a lot of short positions put in, and a game kind of begins to try and liquidate those positions, to bring it down, to liquidate it for it all to come back up. But this is crypto, right? If you can't handle the heat, you should probably get out of the kitchen at this point. This is the most important point moving forward for crypto in its cycle before it begins anew, so to speak. So yeah, the imprisonment triggers a massive crypto crash, but there is other stuff attributing to this, and there's all sorts of different smaller kind of micro problems that are going on as well. And some of these micro problems are kind of what's going on with DK at the moment. And honestly, like I said yesterday in my video, Justin Sun is the only one really to remain standing right now as a public figure in crypto that's really active, really outspoken, and speaks up quite a lot of the time. Brad Garlinghouse is kind of walking down that route as well. But we have, like I said, got these micro problems of the US courts here, proposed remedies from TFL, Do Kwon in May. So there's a lot of people in Luna at the moment, and they're kind of saying to themselves, well, we're going to be able to get it down to $1 million. And this is just what the legal team's suggesting. It doesn't mean that this $5.3 billion is going to come down. We just don't know at the moment what's going to happen. So I have to take it with a pinch of salt, and we should take it as it comes. So let's jump onto the main segment here, which is the Binance burn. And I keep saying to people, if you want to see more burns from Binance, if you want to see more each month, you need to conduct as much of your trading as possible on that exchange, because they're the only exchange that actually do this. So it's really important that you understand that if the numbers are low, it's either trading's not very popular currently at the moment on that exchange, volume's low, the markets are going down, and there's generally just not a lot of movement currently. So this is why I would say this has gone down considerably this month. So hopefully next month, as we start to move into that bull run, prices come down, people buy more, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So this is really good. Now, I did sit there and kind of started stillman in a position this morning and saying to myself, well, maybe this was all for show. Maybe the whole LUNC burning thing was just kind of to show that CZ's a good guy, he gives back to the community, and these would have kind of gone in his letters for sentencing. You can get sentencing cover letters where family, friends, individuals can send personal kind of statements in to give a third-party perspective of what they think and what they believe the person is like. So I did stillman and kind of say to myself, well, maybe it's over. Maybe today it all finishes and it all ends. And this has once again proven my stillman position wrong. And this is really good. And once again, it signifies to the rest of the crypto community, as much as people think that this coin's dead, it's dying, there's some kind of weird plan going on. There has to be at this point. There's no other way to explain why they're doing this. It's one exchange. If they didn't have a plan, surely they would be getting on at every other exchange. They would be getting on at us all of the time to sort of pack the nonsense in. They're definitely paying attention to us, because as soon as we started doing something they didn't like, they spoke out about it almost instantly. So when I look at stuff like this, I look at these burns, I look into all of these different factors. Now, there are talks currently in the LUNC community of the Genuine Labs team doing the tax to gas, which I think would be great. Like I keep saying, if we've got a development team, They should stop being here to get paid a paycheck. Instead, look at the chain, look at the community, look at the Commonwealth, look at the proposals, and kind of develop your work play from that. So getting tax to gas corrected is going to fix a lot of issues. I don't know if it will fix this issue specifically, but the issue being every single month, one validator handles this transaction and it's random, but there's a slight tip to the bigger validators that they'll sign the block. And because they signed the blocks, they get a portion of higher fees, right? So therefore they get more. And this is all part of the unfair distribution system that's kind of built in. It's old. It's developed on a supply that was significantly lower than what our supply is. So a lot of the times, all of these metrics are off because the system was obviously built and developed on a different supply amount. Anyway, moving forward, this is bullish. It's a good sign. It kind of signifies to us what we need to do next. I have got a video dropping very shortly today on what I think the next step should be moving forward with validators, with this voting power, and talking about that reward cap rate and the voting power cap rate that I'd spoken about previously. A lot of you are interested in it, so do keep an eye out for that video later today. So there you go, you've got the Binance burn there, you're pretty much up to date. So now what I want to do is move over to something a little bit more technical. What I have got here is the balances system of LUNC Dash, and this gives me the ability to query any wallet I like as long as I have the address. As you can see, I've got the Binance hot wallet up itself, and its supply amount just hasn't changed for a long time. Like for a long time. It is staying between this 2 trillion and 2.5 trillion range, which I think is quite interesting. Oh, another thing that's quite interesting here is all of the people like, yeah, you know, those coins that are on Binance belong to users. They don't belong to Binance yet. That's why they're able to just move them nilly-willy, and we're able to track them. That's what this big drop here is in this candle. They had to do some maintenance, so they moved all of the coins from one wallet to another wallet, did the maintenance for this tax system, the whitelist system, and then they moved them all back. So there you go, proof that those coins don't actually belong to you. Anyway, moving forward. The supply itself has stayed the same. This is really good. This is actually what we want to see, because what this signifies to us, if we're going bite to crunch cookie crumbles on this thing, we would say to ourselves, well, they're not dunking on us. They're not burning coins to sell coins, which is also a still man kind of idea I thought of a few different times. But this really does show us that they're not doing that. And this is a really important factor we need to take into account as to what is Binance's motive behind this, right? If they were in it to make money and they were doing it for the publicity to push the price up so they could slowly trickle bleed their coins out, we would know they were doing this because of the different tools we've got with money flow and with balances. So talking of money flow, let's now move over to money flow, even more technical for those of you who like this. Now, I'm keeping it simple in this one. On the left, you've got the hot wallet itself. As you can see here, the Binance hot wallet. And on the right hand side, what you have here is the burn module, being the ANXU, what you all call the dead wallet. So what we can see here is there's a very peculiar connection, right, as to the way Binance actually handles all of this stuff. Now, what's even more interesting is that KuCoin handles a lot of different stuff that comes from the Binance hot wallet. So even more interesting to see, because what happens is when they make these burns, they make transactions. The transaction leaves a trail, and that trail then will show up for us on the money flow system pretty easily. As you can see here, these closer ones, right? 1, 2, and then 3. If the wallet is associated with a group of wallets, it will group them together. It knows that these wallets are being used as bridge wallets. The technology here is actually very smart. It's very interesting. I'll leave links to it in the description. Do use and utilize these tools that we develop for this community. But it gives you a good idea that there's just something weird going on. There's something more than any of us could ever fathom or understand. They're not selling out on us. They're not dunking out on us. They're not dipping out on us, and they're not ditching us. There's so many different things that they're doing which signify to us there's some kind of hidden agenda, some kind of motive that we just don't No. Now, CZ himself started a project called Giggle Factory, Giggle something. I probably got that wrong. Correct me in the comment section. But if he's got interest in doing something like that, I honestly believe when he comes out of jail, we should do our best as a community to get his attention and garner his attention, gain his attention, and say to him, look, we need you to be the godfather of this chain. You need to have a say and be a bit more outspoken kind of thing, because a lot of people want him to lead. I don't want that. What we need is guidance from someone who's got a lot of skin in the game, everybody trusts, and everybody can kind of look to and go, well, you know, it's CZ. Look what he's gone through. Look what he's developed. Look at his exchange. Look at all of these different things. If there truly is a hidden motive, right? If they're truly as dedicated to this as they are, surely they would opt in to something like this. I think it's really interesting alongside the Proposal 12101. If your validator hasn't voted on this yet, go and get them to hurry up. Get them voting on it, because the idea is the more people that yes vote this thing, the more the other validators will be swayed into making a vote. Currently, I see quite a few validators that would probably simply just not vote on this proposal, which is absolutely ridiculous, because like I've said, if all of the different validators can make decisions based on the theoretical text-based proposal, which was paid per job, a governance ruled list, and the validators can abide by that, then surely they can abide by a text-based rule, which just says don't double node, don't network node, don't triple node, just run a single node moving forward. Same with non-custodial providers. It's all something that can be done without force. And this is what all of these validators want. So take note once again, who's voting no with a veto. I'm not going to push fingers at people who are abstaining, but at the same time, this really affects all of us. And if everybody really wants this blockchain to change, then they'll opt in for this rule. They'll help enforce it. They'll help hold others accountable instead of ignoring people because it doesn't benefit them to speak up, stand up, and do the right and honorable thing. Guys, really interesting day ahead. Something I've been looking at is a person who's pretty much, they're like dropping so much information to do with the TFL case. So there's a lot to go through when it comes to the Luna case, but something that is weighing on my mind heavily is the realization that these guys truly are going to get liquidated, in the sense that all of this is going to get liquidated. Even we're going to take a small hit of $15 million. And we need to accept that, but we're not going to get hit as hard as Luna is. I see no way of these funds getting back to the community. They have no control over it. It's in a wallet. It's not in a smart contract. And the trustee of it is the US Treasury. So you have to ask yourself all of these different questions. It's an interesting time ahead. We should definitely act now, like I said, about putting the active set back up to 130. And then my video that's dropping later today on that voting power cap. Do check it out, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like if you haven't already. Drop a comment on the way out. Hit the notifications bell to stay informed. If you've got LUNC, consider delegating with us. Links to that in the comment section. We've got our own auto compounding available at HTCfactory.com. And other than that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. As always, catch you in the next one.